The reactor breach alarm had given them 47 seconds. Nyla remembered every one of them. She'd been running diagnostics on the colony ship's tertiary life support when the antimatter containment field destabilized. The engineering bay had erupted into chaos, red lights strobing, klaxons wailing, and 32 crew members scrambling for the blast doors. But in Section C, the nursery module, 18 children under 5 years old slept in their cryopods, unaware that superheated plasma was about to tear through the bulkhead. Nyla had made her choice in 2.3 seconds. Brian's voice crackled over her comm implant, screaming at her to evacuate, but she was already sprinting toward the nursery. Her fingers flew across the emergency console, rerouting power to the magnetic shielding around the children's section. The math was brutally simple. The shields could protect either the nursery or the evacuation corridor, not both. She chose the cubs. The blast hit her like the fist of an angry god. Then, nothing. Now, Nyla's eyes opened to impossibility. The ceiling above her rippled with colors that had no names in human language. Bioluminescent patterns pulsed across organic walls that seemed to breathe. The air tasted of copper and ozone, but also something sweeter, like the smell of rain on distant planets she'd never visited. "Subject exhibits consciousness restoration," a voice said, but not in her ears. The words formed directly in her mind, precise and clinical. Nyla tried to sit up. Her body responded, but wrong. Everything felt too light, too coordinated. She looked down at her hands, still her hands, still brown skin and familiar scars, but they moved with fluid precision that hadn't been there before. "Where?" she started, but her throat felt strange. A figure approached. Bipedal, roughly humanoid, but with silver-blue skin that refracted light like oil on water. Its eyes were too large, too knowing, and they had no pupils, just swirling galaxies of amber and violet. "You are aboard the medical vessel Kashara," the being said, its lipless mouth unmoving while the words materialized in her consciousness. "I am physician Thelkor. You have been in our care for 17 of your days." "The children?" Nyla demanded, trying to swing her legs off whatever she was lying on. "The Pioneer's hope. Did the nursery survive?" Thelkor's head tilted in what might have been approval. "Your concern validates our intervention. Yes, all 18 juveniles survived. Your sacrifice redirected sufficient energy to preserve their environmental pod. The remaining crew evacuated successfully." Relief flooded through her, so intense it was almost painful. "Brian, Lieutenant Brian Okafor? The male who attempted to reach you? He lives. His transmissions to our vessel were persistent." Something in Thelkor's mental tone suggested amusement. Nyla's medical training kicked in, overriding her shock. She assessed herself with clinical detachment. No pain, breathing easy, heartbeat strong but different, slower, more efficient. "What did you do to me?" "I should be dead. That plasma exposure." "Correct. You expired 4.7 minutes after the blast." Thelkor moved to a curved console that looked grown rather than built. Holographic displays bloomed in the air, human anatomy overlaid with impossibly complex data. 73% of your tissue was catastrophically damaged. We initiated cellular reconstruction using quantum template preservation. That's impossible. You can't reconstruct neural pathways without... Nyla stopped. "You mapped my connectomy, my entire neural structure? We have been observing your species for 847 of your years," Thelkor said. "We know your biology better than you do. The reconstruction was precise to the quantum level. You are you, Nyla Okonkwo. Every memory, every synapse, preserved and restored." The implications crashed over her. "Why? We didn't even know you existed. Why save one random human engineer?" Thelkor's galaxy eyes seemed to focus more intently. "Random? No. You made a choice that revealed your species' potential. In 2.3 seconds, you calculated probable outcomes and chose altruism over survival. This is not common in the galaxy. Plenty of humans would do the same. Perhaps, but we were watching you. Thelkor gestured, and the walls shifted, revealing a viewport. Outside, stars wheeled past impossibly fast. Faster than light, Nyla realized with awe. Your pioneer's hope was attempting to establish a colony on Kepler 442b. A noble effort, but doomed. The planet's magnetosphere is degrading. In 40 years, solar radiation would have sterilized the surface. You're saying we were colonizing a death world? You lacked the sensors to detect it. We did not. Thelkor's mental voice softened, if such a thing were possible. Your species reaches for the stars with admirable courage but insufficient knowledge. You will die out there, repeatedly, unless someone intervenes. Nyla felt the weight of those words. So you're what? Guardian angels? Observers, evaluators, and occasionally, when we find individuals of sufficient value, recruiters. Thelkor manipulated the console, and new images appeared. Dozens of human faces, hundreds of alien ones. The Galactic Concordance requires proof that a species can transcend self-interest before contact. You, Nyla Okonkwo, are that proof for humanity. One person isn't proof of anything. One person is how it always begins. Thelkor extended something that might have been a hand, 3 fingers, each tipped with what looked like crystalline claws. You have a choice. We can return you to your people. You will live a full life, though the neural reconstruction gives you perhaps 150 years instead of your species' standard span. Or, you can help us guide humanity forward. Teach us about your kind while learning about the galaxy. When your species is ready, you will be among the first ambassadors to the Concordance. Thelkor paused. Brian Okafor has been sending messages. He wishes to see you. He would be acceptable as a second recruit if you choose this path. Nyla looked out at the impossible stars, thinking of 18 children breathing safely in their pods, thinking of Brian's voice screaming for her to run, thinking of her species stumbling blindly into cosmic dangers they couldn't imagine. She took Thelkor's crystalline hand. "Tell me everything," she said, "and tell Brian we've got work to do." Outside the viewport, stars blurred into ribbons of light as the Kashara jumped toward destinations humanity hadn't even dreamed of yet. End.